One of the major reasons that you struggle in IELTS reading is because of your slow reading speed. And it is a really big problem as you have to solve three long passages in only 1 hour. So if you have slow reading speed, then this video is a must watch for you. And make sure to watch this video to the very end because the last step is the most important one. Let's start with the very first step, which is reading chunks of words, not only single words. Now, chunks mean a group of 3 or 4 words. And here I would advise you not to read one word after one word. Look, the eye diameter is like 3 to 4 centimeters. When you see a word on the text on a book, you don't only see that word, you see a lot of other words. And it is a really big advantage of your eyes, so take advantage of it. Use it properly. Instead of reading one word after one word, just use your eyes to read a lot more words at the same time. Like, for example, consider this passage. Here, let's take an example of a student who reads one word after one word. Like recently, however, attitudes towards history and the way it should be presented have altered. The key word in heritage display is now experience, the more exciting and the better, and if possible, involving all the senses. Look here, just to read 3 to 4 lines, he has taken a lot of time. And if you consider another student who reads chunks of words at the same time, who uses his eye diameter, the 3 to 4 centimeter diameter, to read a lot more words. Recently, however, attitudes towards history and the way it should be presented have altered. The keyword in head display is now experience, the more exciting and better, and if possible, involving all the senses. So these are chunks like involving all the senses, attitudes towards history, the way it should be presented. If you read these chunks at the same time, then your reading speed will dramatically boost. Next, you should stop pronouncing those words in your head. Obviously, during the exam, you won't be pronouncing your words very loud, okay? I would never recommend that. But just stop pronouncing them in your head. For example, this is the passage. In a related development, the sharp distinction between museum and heritage sites, on the other hand, and theme parks, on the other, is gradually evaporating. So if you're pronouncing every single word, you can't move on to the next word unless you finish the pronunciation of the previous word. So just stop focusing too much on pronunciation. Just focus that you have to read. In a related development, the sharp distinction between museum and heritage sites, on the other hand, and theme parks, on the other, is gradually evaporating. This way, you simply don't pronounce any of the words in your head and you simply read. This is one of the most common mistakes. Students tend to pronounce those words during the exam or they try to read it a bit loud. This reduces their speed a lot. Also, make sure not to use a pencil when reading because if you're reading and using your eyes, like this, you're reading passages and using your eyes, and at the same time, the pencil might be there where you started because you like forgot to move the pencil with your eyes. Generally, your eyes will move fast in comparison to your pencil. So, if you're moving your eyes like this and the pencil is stuck at a point, you might get confused like, where was I? And you have to reread it. So, it will consume a lot of time and waste your precious time. So, just avoid using a pencil. Only use a pencil if you can use it fast, okay, like this. If you're reading and you using your pencil at the same pace as that of your eyes. No extensive reading. Now extensive reading means reading from like above, reading, you are reading on the top, reading like this, and to get the main idea or to just find a particular word. This is very useful, especially for questions like summary completion, fill in the blanks from a small table, matching information, matching scientists. This extensive reading will be very useful here. Students make the mistake of reading every single paragraph very carefully, even though for the questions that I just mentioned, you don't need to do anything like that. Just use extensive reading. However, for some questions like MCQs, matching headings. You need to implement intensive reading. It means reading every single line very carefully, understanding it, understanding the synonyms, and then comparing. Intensive reading is necessary for matching headings and you can say MCQs. For true false not given, also you don't need intensive as well as extensive reading, just a mix of both. Because true false doesn't require too much focus, but at the same time, it does require some focus. Lastly, you need to have proper grip over vocabulary. This is very important but very underrated. Students think that simply increasing your reading speed will help you with reading fast. No, if you don't have good vocabulary, if you don't know the meaning of some particular words, then your reading speed will not improve. Because suppose you're reading a paragraph and there are 4 to 5 lines, you encounter 3 to 4 difficult words. You will stop there, think of that, your brain will consume your time, and then you will waste time because you don't know the meaning of those words. So simply, you need to have some knowledge of vocabulary. For example, take this passage. The conviction that historic relics provided infallible testimony about the past is rooted in the 19th century and early 20th century, when science was regarded as objective and value-free. As Van White observes, although it is now evident that artifacts are easily altered as chronicles, public faith in their veracity endures. So here there are a lot of complex words. Infallible. If you don't know the meaning, you will get stuck here and at the same time you will be worried. Infallible means something that is quite, you can say rigid. It's a good proof. So infallible testimony. Testimony is like testimonials, a proof you can say. Evident means also proof. Artifacts, the remains of ancient things. Altered means changed. Veracity means the accuracy. Chronicles mean a written record of something that happened in sequence. So here there are some complex words. And if you didn't know the meaning of these words, you wouldn't have been able to read it fast. So just get a good grip over vocabulary. And talking about vocabulary, if you want to know how to build your vocabulary and memorize them, make sure to watch this video. Take care. Allah.